World of Tanks presents Dangerously Incompetent in Too Old to Die. I'm driving the Su-100M1 Soviet Tier 7 tank destroyer. We're on Erlenberg. It's a Tier 7 battle. In this episode, a bit of strategy and the number one rule. Now, strategy-wise, you can see most of the team is following me onto the west flank. Now, some people say this is a strategic mistake, that you should send more people into the east. I say, this is wrong. Concentrating all your tanks on one flank, that's a great idea. If the enemy do as you say, and split their forces evenly, you end up with odds of 2 to 1, and there's only one way that fight goes. Well, unless your team totally stalls at a choke point or something and doesn't push through, despite its numerical advantage, or it doesn't pay any attention and lets the enemy sweep round the empty flank and come towards him. The mistake, strategically speaking, that our team has made now is those three tanks in the east. A minute ago, they could see they were in trouble. 3 tanks against on one flank against half the enemy team, probably. They're going to get murdered real quick. They should have turned around and come over to the west and hung around the southern bridge, around the two spawn spot, and started defending. You've seen one of them's pushed forward and he's dead. The MX-AC-46 has realised we're in trouble. He's now taking Billy big steps to try and join up with the rest of the team. But that Chinu, he's just still pushing forward. He's just going to die. He's suiciding. He's given up. Or he's too stupid to realise what's about to happen. Meanwhile, some of the enemy, quicker enemy, have zoomed straight down the middle and tucked into the rear of us. And the only person to notice was me. Well, and the artillery noticed once he was being shot. So I've cleared up the 2 that zoomed into our rear, and now I'm trying to set up a position which the 3 who'd gone east should have been in. Either next to the bridge or up here on the chateau, looking for the enemy who's going to come charging around to try and get the main thrust in the rear. So I've got a nice bush here, and when I've left the bush I've got some hard cover nearby. But that AMX has turned around and started to make a stand. He's not going to survive long unless he gets some help, so I go and try and help him. Unfortunately, I don't do very well. I don't get many shots. Like this shot, I could have shot, but if I missed, I'd have probably hit my mate. So, and then I do miss. So unfortunately, my help is too little too late for that AMX. And meanwhile, our big main thrust, we had a bunch of window lickers. They're just dying. Despite having almost all our tanks. No, 2/3 of our tanks, if you include the artillery. They had 2/3 of our tanks against half the enemy, and they just died. That's just being poor players, nothing to do with strategy. So now there's 2 of us left, and goodbye M4, because you're in the open. You managed to get the artillery there, I suppose. One of the artillery. Yeah, the remaining artillery still gives me... Why is he stationary? Lost his tracks? Have you not got a repair kit? So I'm back in my original defensive position to try and get them as they cross. The T-25s are well across. And goodbye M4. So it's me on my own. So you can see there's 3 down south. Then there's the 87. Then there's a Stug 4, and then there's the other artillery. And there's a T-34. So 3, 5, 6, 7. There's 1 versus 7. I've disposed of 2 of them. Ha 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 ha. And now I start exhibiting the number one rule. Don't give up. Odds of 1 to 7, even if half of them are like bottom tier, you think, just give up. But no, fight. Fight on, I say. You can see what I've done to 2 of them. And now, because once you're down to 1 tank on your team, or just 2 against most of the rest of the enemy team, they start throwing caution to the wind. They start going, I want to get some points. And they start charging you as fast as they can. Which means they tend to come at you one by one. So, where's that Chini you got to? He was messing around on the riverside, but I haven't spotted him, so he's moved off a ways. Here comes one of the T-34s charging me, see, one by one. He didn't spot me, so this gives me an opportunity to set up an ambush. Oh, just a bit too late to get a shot. And my gun depression ain't good, so I didn't get another one. And AMX AC40. 1 against 8. I forgot about him. So still not looking good, especially with artillery. Now I've only got one thing to shoot, but I've got a hill between me and the guys who are close. Here comes the T-34, coming to where only he can shoot me. Apart from the artillery, and there's something small behind me over the river. But it's goodbye T-34. Run away, keep fighting. Other side of the hill. So there's only the AMX to get me. He's got a big weak coupler, that's what I'm going for. Unfortunately I plant it straight into the ground. Boo. Foolish. Down we go, so nobody can shoot at me. There's a bounce. Here comes the AMX, charging me on his own. So instead of 1 to 5, is it? Yeah. He's putting the odds to 1 to 1. So I still have a chance. I still might win this. Now there's something small shooting at me from over here. Is he going to cross? There he is. He's giving his position away. And it's not quite good night for him. He's still there. Still in the open. Now if only those 3 that went west right at the start had pulled over to the east instead of charging to their dooms. Well, 2 of them charged to their dooms in the east. By the end of this match, the enemy team have just got 500 or less hit points between them. If only someone had survived a bit longer, done a bit more damage, this could have easily been a win. Spoiler alert, we do lose. Though I fight all the way to the end, and all that's left at the end is that 87 and the artillery. So I get like 7 kills. After practically the rest of the team is all dead. And so by not giving up and keep on going, I got a Mastery 1 badge and a buttload of XP and cash. Still got a loss, I suppose, but it was so close to being a win. So it's goodbye Panzer IV. And now it's me against an 87. And I'm very low on hit points at this point, which is why he's just ploughing straight towards me. He's relying on his armour. Plant one into the ground instead of his cupola, which is what I was aiming at. There's a hit into him. He's got me. Oh well.